8. Old sandwiches. Kate, you smell. I half opened my eyes to find a drooling pink tongue hanging a few inches from my face. It was not my sister's. I I sat up in a hurry and looked around me. Four dogs looked back. Noisy was curled up at my feet. Zip perched on a bag above me. Puppy was curled against my side. Tiny was standing on top of me, panting and smiling. Hey there, time to get up. It's a little crowded in here, I said, and you guys seriously stink. I opened the door and climbed out. The dogs followed, stretching happily in the morning sun. What are we gonna do today, huh? As I walked around to the back of our car, I stopped abruptly and gasped. There was no more road. Instead, there was a huge hole in the ground where the road used to be. It must have been a bombed blast, and it had been too dark last night for me to see it. The dogs crouched at the edge of the crater, barking into the pit. I quickly grabbed Zip to make sure he didn't fall in. Look at their faces. I realized they were just as spooked as me. After the shock had worn off, we turned and walked away from the big, empty hole of nothingness. We had more important things to worry about, like finding food, so I grabbed two empty bags laying on the ground and headed off down the line of cars. Okay, you lot, who's hungry? Me. In no time, we found old sandwiches, bottles of water, a few tins of ham, stale bread, and some dried meat. Luckily for the dogs, hey you lot, settle down. The dogs were running about everywhere, eat whatever they could find. Only Happy stayed by my side. Slow down, guys. We have to save as much food as we can until Mom and Dad came back. But I had no idea when that would be. There wasn't a sign of anyone anywhere, not a single person. Where had they all gone? I knew that other people had run into the forest, so why hadn't I seen anyone? And why was no one back here at the cars? The stillness was spooky. I was grateful to have the dogs, or I would have felt really lonely, really alone. I forced myself to continue on, opening up cars, trucks, wagons, one at a time, to check for food or water. As I pushed on the door handle of a small truck, the door suddenly exploded outwards, knocking me to the ground. A black shape launched out of the cabin and landed on top of me with a snarl. I was staring up at a mouthful of bird fangs, terrified. Without a pause, Poppy sprang at the black dog, and although she was small in comparison, her courage was enormous. She knocked him off me, and the two dogs transformed into a snarling, barking black and golden mess of legs and fur and teeth. Puppy, I screamed. Stop, stop! Hearing the commotion, Tiny, Nosy, and Zip ran back to us, howling hysterically. A streak of red appeared on Puppy's fur. I had to help her. Looking around, I saw a big stick and adrenaline rushed to my head. Picked it up. I raised it in the air, waiting for the right moment to swing at the black dog. As angry as I felt at the strange dog, I didn't want to hit Puppy by mistake. Then, before I even had a chance, Zip flashed past me and headlong charged headlong into the flight. Perhaps Zip had was head was hurted from running into things because there was an almighty thump, and the black dog went spiraling. Zip quickly positioned himself in front of Puppy, like a brother protecting his younger sibling. The black dog stretched to his feet and shocked himself, a bit dazed. They forced each other, growling, but neither seemed to want to attack. Are you okay, guy? Are you guys okay? Happy ran back over to me. Her golden fur was stained red, but she seemed all right. I checked her over. There were just small cuts on her shoulder. Despite her size, she had not hesitated to protect me. I wondered what I'd done to earn this. Thank you, Puppy. Zip and the black dog. Our mischief continued to circle each other. Finally, I took a step forward, and the mischief snarled. Whoa! Boy, it's okay. I won't look in your truck if you don't want me to. I glanced past him into the cabin of the trunk and saw that it was completely empty. Come on, guys. You will leave this truck alone. As I lead the dogs away from dogs away from the truck, the mischief continued to stare at us mechanically. We made our way up the line of cars and checked every single one. By the late afternoon, we'd walk up and down the line several times, collecting what we could, but always making sure we avoid the truck guarded by the mischief. There were 81 vehicles in total, and not a single person around except for me. Well, me and my dogs. All right, we are going back to my car to sleep. It's getting late. As we walked past the mischief one last time, he whimpered. Have you eaten anything, boy? I said, edging very carefully toward him as Puppy stuck her to my side. He didn't look like he had. He could have found food like the other dogs, but for some reason it seemed like he didn't want to leave the truck. Without moving any further forward, I reached into the backpack and threw him a sandwich. He gobbled it up eagerly. Next, I poured some water into a pot and decided to risk getting a little closer to push it towards him. After I stepped back, the mischief he gobbled it up eagerly. Next, I poured some water into a pot and decided to risk getting a little closer to push it towards him. After I stepped back, the mischief tenderously approached the pot. When in a frenzy, he slopped it up fast. When he was done, something changed in his face. His eyes were softer now, not angry, maybe something more like worry. It seemed like the other dogs could sense it too, because they moved aside as he approached, allowing me to gently pat him on the head. He had a collar with a tag on it. Brutes. Hey, Brutes. His tag twitched just a little. Okay, Brutes. You can come with us as long as you play fair, or you can stay here. It's up to you. We walked off toward Mom and Dad's car, and a few moments later, I noticed Brutes was following too. I had adopted another dog. 9. Along the road. In the morning, I woke up to the sound of a beeping horn, and my first thought was people. People had come. Then I saw that it was just Nosy leaning on the steering wheel. What if no one was coming back? I really didn't want to stay here forever. I figured I had two options. Either head back towards home or keep following the road onwards. We had driven for many hours that first night, and there had been nothing but forest along the road, so it would have taken a long time to make the journey back. It might also be dangerous, that's why we had felt in the first place. In the end, I decided to continue in the direction the cars had been heading. I also wrote a note just in case anyone came back while I was gone. To Mom plus Dad plus Kate. I have gone looking for you further along this road. Please come and get me. Gwen. As I packed food and water into my bag, I realized that some of the sandwiches I'd found were starting to get moldy. I really hoped we'd find some adults soon. They knew what to do. Our biggest challenge would be crossing the Daunty Bridge. A huge chunk of concrete had fallen down into the river and formed a kind of rocky pathway across the chunking water. Maybe the dogs and I could climber down and make our way across. It was going to be dangerous, though. The river was rushing as fast as ever. One wrong step and any of us could fall into the water and be swept away. But we didn't have a choice. We had to try a couple of times. The leap between the broken concrete was bigger than Tiny could handle, so I had to pick him up. At first, Tiny was terrified of me picking him up, pumping his leg faster and faster while I held him as if he was running on air. But he quickly started to relax, in fact. I got the impression he'd like me to carry him the rest of the way. Eventually, we were all across safely. Began a walk on the other side, hopefully that there would be a town or other cars or something up ahead. Please, please let there be some people, I thought to myself. We walked for hours and hours, but found nothing. The road curled around the mountain and kept going. Forests and more forests on both sides of the road. No home, no cars, no people. Just trees as far as the eyes could see. Before I knew it, the sun was low in the sky. We were all exhausted and hungry. I sat down on the side of the road under a big oak tree and started feeding the dogs. They didn't seem to mind eating the moldy sandwiches. Dogs have iron stomachs. I remember Dad telling me once. After Molly had eaten my Barbie doll space helmet, just don't feed them chocolate. I didn't think we were lucky to find any chocolate around here. Where were we? Then, despite all that had happened in the past few days, I suddenly felt more alone than I'd ever felt in my life. I put my head down on the backpack and tried to hold back tears. I used to hate how Kate always ordered me around, but now I wished she was here to tell me exactly what to do. The four curled around me. Their fur against my skin was comforting, and we quickly drifted off to sleep. The next morning I woke beneath the tree with my pack of hungry, thirsty dogs. I refilled through I ruffled through my bags to see what we had left. What do we do now? Keep going and hope that we run into some people. What if we found nothing? What if this road just went on forever? We could all die out here. Erg! I screamed as loud as I could, and the dogs looked startled. Somebody, anybody, is there anyone, anywhere? The dogs stared at me as if to say, we're here, don't we count? No, you don't count. I screamed at them. You are nothing but a bunch of dogs. I want my family. Now, get lost and leave me alone. I turned away, trying so hard to hold back tears. I stared back the way we had. I started back the way we had come. The dogs followed. No, you, don't you guys get it? I can't look after all of you. Go away. They just looked at me in confusion. What's wrong? Scram! I screeched. I don't know how to look after you guys. Don't you understand? But the dogs kept but the dogs just kept on following. I remembered then that they had saved my life, and I owe them. I shouldn't try to shoo them away. I just didn't know what to do anymore. Finally, I gave in. Let them come with me if that's what they want, I thought. At least we won't be lonely while we starve. We walked all day, all the way back to the cars. As the sun set, I rushed to our cars to see if anyone had picked up the note. No, it was exactly as I left it. The dogs ate what remained of the moldy sandwiches, and I gobbled up the last few slices of dried stale bread. I closed my eyes, praying that help would arrive soon.